Hi guys, Matthew here. First, this is just a little notice message just to say. First off, I do apologize for the lateness because the review you're about to see now was originally recorded at least approximately 4 weeks ago, and I was intending to release it sometime then, but unfortunately due to important university work and a stage production which I was involved in, which we just finished recently, I didn't have enough time to edit or upload the review video on my channel. And another thing is, when you're watching this review, there's gonna be like a lot of comments saying, oh, but wait, that's not gonna happen because recently we all know that Class has been axed from BBC, which in my opinion is a real damn shame, because there's so many things that the series could have done with the second season if it was done right. I'm not saying it was a bad series, because you'll soon find out in this review that there's so many things that the series could have done with season 2 if the reception was done right, because which I will also mention was with how the audience reception could have been better, because that is the real reason why I am so disappointed with Class at the moment, is because the series, it ends in a cliffhanger, and it's real disappointing to know that we're never gonna find out what happened. We're never gonna find out what happens next and all that. Well, unless they change their mind, I don't know, but it's pretty unlikely they're going to do it, because the same thing happened with Atlantis. Because I'm guessing the first half of season 2 was very poorly received, and they decided to end it after season 2. And I thought to myself, if they could end the series with a proper ending, rather than ending the cliffhanger, which would have been a setup for the next series, then I would have been happy. But unfortunately, they didn't. The same thing has happened with Class, and I am really so scared with the BBC drama now, because if you're gonna do a drama series, then don't end the first one in a cliffhanger. If you want to set up for the next series, at least leave some clues. Don't end in a cliffhanger. Just end the story for the series and see what people think, and then if you like, you can start another series, because that is how you should do a series. Don't end in cliffhangers. Just leave like a little Easter egg or a glimpse of what might happen, but don't end in a cliffhanger. Don't end it with people asking questions, because even Torchwood Miracle Day did it, and whether Torchwood might be coming back or not, it's still really, really not good. It's really not good, and I'm a little worried about what's going to happen with the BBC drama department from now on, and that's what I'm saying. So, as promised, this is my late review of the finale of Class Series 1, which was originally recorded 4 weeks ago, and I'm now releasing it today. So for those of you who might get some mentions of what I thought about what's going to happen in season 2, just to let you know, that was actually recorded prior to the news of Class being axed. So just to let you know, okay. So this is just like a little warning or notice. So thank you guys so much for that, and I hope you enjoyed the review. See you later. Hi guys, Matt the Creator here, and welcome back to another edition to my Class reviews. Now, what I've realised about this series is that each episode is given us a story for each of the main characters. Episode 2 is Ram's story, Episode 3 is Tanya's, Episode 4 is April's, 5 is kind of a mixture of 2 characters, but it's mostly Charlie's, 6 is all about the kids altogether, 7 it's Quill's story, and now it's the finale. So let's see how this plays out. Now, before I start the review, I'd like to give a quick recap of my reactions to each episode so far. Tonight We Die, a well-made, decent introduction to this spin-off series. The Coach with the Dragon Tattoo. Meh. Night Visiting. Okay, interesting. Co-owner of a Lonely Heart. Oh, Brave-ish Heart. What? Detained. Not something original, but it's okay in its way. What Quill Did. Best episode ever. And now, The Lost. Now we're getting somewhere. We start the episode with a montage of what everyone is doing at the same time. Charlie has been watching Quill sleeping while she's carrying a baby in the bun, which I have to say, I think it's quite nice. I mean, since Charlie has been treating her like a sort of prisoner or a terrorist, he does show that he cares for Quill at this moment. April is doing a violin recital at the pub for some reason. Okay, as much as I hated April in the series, I have to say, she's a pretty good violinist and a good singer. And since the song is called The Lost, yeah, I get the reference there, I think this is actually a good prologue for a finale. Actually, speaking of April, you remember in my last review where I thought that the original story was to have April be an interest for Charlie? There's a small scene with Charlie and April talking about each other's problems and all that, and she gives him a hug. And Charlie does the whole hands away from the back and then gives her a hug back. That's a nice touch. What is Tony doing? I forgot. Oh yeah, she's trying to call Ram since he hasn't been talking to them recently. And Ram is playing football with his father. And this leads to one of the saddest things to happen in the episode. The Shadow King pops out of nowhere and stabs Ram's father. You know, as much as I didn't want his father to die, I kind of saw it coming, but the reason it's not as sad as I hoped is because the Next Time trailer ruined it. They've taken the same route as the Doctor Who team who did when they made the Series 1 finale Next Time trailer by ruining the twist. But aside from that, it was still sad. This is a big blow for Ram. This fully completes his circle. Yeah, he's lost his girlfriend being killed in front of him in the first series, and now he's lost his father in the last episode. Wait, hang on. What happened to Ram's mum? Did I miss something? If I have, please leave a comment. I'm curious what you think. So yeah, it turns out the Shadow King has escaped from his prison and is killing everyone close to the gang. Ram's father was the first, and then suddenly Tanya's mother. Honestly, I didn't care much about Tanya's mother in the series as much as Ram's father. I mean, I kind of saw it coming, but I have to admit, it really made me jump. You thought Ram had a tough time? This is a huge blow for Tanya. She's lost her father, she sees her mother being killed in front of her, and now she's left desperate to protect her brothers. Which I have to say, the first time I saw it, I was like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Come on, guys, give Tanya a break. First Ram and now Tanya? Later in the episode, we get another romance scene with April and Ram. Now, I think this is more of a friend zone scene. Ram is thinking to run away, he begs April to come with him, and April's like, nah, I've got to look after my mum. Ram is all, I still love you. I will always love you. And he runs off. Okay, now, I'm not a fan of Ape-Ram, or whatever you like to call their relationship, but watching it again, I was okay with just that scene. April is worried, so her mum says April did all this, healing my legs, she's fighting monsters, did all this, because she is April, not a superhero. Have you been watching Brave-ish Heart? She's clearly trying to act like a superhero to me. But that manages to convince April to go and help her friends and leave her mother defenseless and alone. Yeah, real hero. Of course, we get a scene with April on the phone saying, I loved you. All this time I was afraid of loving you, but now I know. But now I do love you, and seriously, I literally don't give a crap. Quill is obviously shocked to find herself with a baby. There's a small bit where she comes up with a theory that this is part of their hibernation, but she does know it's because of the cabinet's work. There's a small bit of dialogue where Charlie asks, "Wait, what happened to the cabinet?" And Quill's like, "You don't want to know." Smooth, Quill, smooth. Quill still craves the gun, and again tries to convince Charlie to use the cabinet once again. Tanya turns up at Quill's house later on, and she's all sad, and I can see Quill sympathizing Tanya. There's this small bit where Tanya puts her head on Quill's body, and Quill's all disgusted at first, but then she lowers her hands on Tanya's head like a guardian angel or a mother. Ah, Quill's becoming more caring now, isn't she? I'm sensing a plot element. Then Tanya says, "Are you pregnant?" Quill's all awkward. Nice. One of the things I like about this episode is just to see Quill and Tanya work together. Tanya asks Quill if they can use the cabinet, and Quill explains that only Charlie can use it since he's the prince of his people. Quill offers to help Tanya if she helps Quill. Tanya is all angry that the Shadow King will keep coming and keep killing, and Quill says, "You have a choice. You can stay back and let it consume you, or you can stand up and fight." Quill also explains to her that the baby she is cooking will consume her when they are born and takes their strength. But that's not what humans do. You can shape your legacy rather than let it shape you. And she offers to teach Tanya how to fight. Oh yeah, now we're getting to somewhere good. Seriously, I could watch an entire spin-off of just Tanya and Quill fighting together and would not get less interested. They make a good team. Catherine Kelly and Vivian Oprah really make a good team. They really have been working together in these scenes. Tanya says, "Why are you being so kind all this time? All that sarcasm?" Quill says, "Alright, don't let me think that this makes me weak, but with a baby, this makes us furious." Tanya says, "Yeah, well that happens to us humans too. Now shut up and fight." I like them. I really do like them. Ram and April try to find a way to fight the Shadow King, well, in the scene earlier on. And then we go a tortured end of days where Ram and Tanya say that they can use the weapon to kill the Shadow King, but April was like, "No, if we kill him, you'll kill me." I'm sensing a plot element. Just then the Shadow King appears with his swords around April's mother, and the Shadow King bargains April that if she gives up the piece of his heart, he'll let her go. You know that's not going to happen. He does let her mother go, of course, but before he does, he puts like another shadow in Charlie's heart, the same way he did with April's. I'm sensing a plot element. So now, if the king dies, he and Charlie and April will both die. Oh, I almost forgot. The Shadow King has been listing his murdered victims as numbers. Ram's father was 1, Tanya's mother was 2, Marty's was just named 5. So who are 3 and 4? Tanya's brothers, of course. They go to the school library to find Tanya's brothers, and I literally thought they were going to get killed. Since we had this soft piano music playing, a slow motion scene of books and papers falling, Tanya screaming and running in slow motion, I was like, oh man, no. But then we get like a shot of the king with his sword raised, and I was like, oh, don't you dare kill him! Don't you dare kill him! But I kind of knew what was going to happen. Quill jumps in and she kicks ass. Oh man. And I have to say, I just like the way she comes in and says, "Remember me?" Tanya lets her brothers go free, and Quill literally beats the crap out of the Shadow King, bashing him against the bookshelf. She's hitting him in the face and dropping him to the floor. Quill is such a badass. Hashtag badass Quill. We also find out that the Shadow King has been using the tears in space to travel to different locations, which actually that kind of makes sense. Since the series started, I pretty much just see the tears always, just nothing but just random doorways, just always there for they seem like a giant door for like random monsters. But with the Shadow King, it makes sense because he's not using like a big main entrance. Since he is still in control, he can open up tears like secret passageways and pop in and out as he pleases. And they're like really tiny tears. They're really tiny. And speaking of passageways, okay, Charlie and Marty go to Ames's office and forces her to tell them everything that she knows. Obviously, Ames says no, and Charlie goes, "Oh, shoot, bang, don't piss me off, lady." Oh, and did I forget that Charlie is carrying Quill's gun with him? He means business now. I'm surprised none of the other staff in the school are questioning why one of their students is carrying a gun. Shouldn't anyone be suspicious? Ames, of course, takes them to an underground down to the stairs and enters the staff room. She's all like, "You cannot enter." "Well, gee, I wonder why." She explains that the governors have been keeping research, collecting knowledge, and have been preparing for the arrival, and that they can still be part of it. I wonder if that has anything to do with the next series. She takes out this really cool key. It's a really cool key, which I think the Roman numbers are an Easter egg of some kind. I don't know. Listen in the comment below what you think on that. She goes into the room, leaving Charlie and Marty's alone. Of course, we get a scene with them together. Charlie's all sad because he's starting to question whether he should be with Marty's or, if he lost him. And Marty's is like, he holds his hand and he's all like, 6 days? I have never stopped thinking of you. Please don't go where I can follow you. Since Jack Harkness and Yanto Jones, that's starting to become one of my best homosexual characters. Anyway, back to the story. Eventually, Charlie and Marty's find Quill and Tanya in a hall with a cabinet. Tanya explains that she's not going to rest until the Shadow King are dead. Charlie explains that if they kill him, he and April will die too. And I think I caught a glimpse of Quill giving this little small look of glee at the mention of Charlie dying. Tanya starts talking a lot in this scene. I mean, you thought her bossing around in D10 was over? We've got more of it, and she's good as ever. She starts saying stuff like, you wanted to kill him. You say it yourself, you've always wanted to kill him. And no matter how many times we do this, they keep coming back and people keep dying. I don't care what you think, so shut up, Princey boy. And Quill is all, don't look at me, she did this on her own. Seriously, if we don't get a series 2, can we at least get a spin-off of Quill and Tanya? Then all of a sudden, before anything else can happen, the Shadow King has popped up out of nowhere again, and of course has Marty's hostage. And I swear, when I first watched this episode, I swear, if Marty has died in this episode, then the writers should be ashamed of themselves. At the same time, there is this shadow army attacking Earth. They are flying across the floor into other people's shadows, I think kind of like what they did in the first episode, and then popping out basically, and they're just basically tearing them to pieces. I swear they've been learning from the Fashion Narada. Of course, April arrives to stand up to the Shadow King. She goes all dramatic, like, in lonely heart. Ugh. She says stuff like, let me go. And I'll go with you. Charlie's all, no, I have to go, or more people will die. April hugs him again. Guys, April is clearly meant to be Charlie's love interest. Then there's a bit where April says, let me look into your eyes and let me know if I was brave. As much as I really don't care about April, and literally just saying, and repeating myself saying, just kill her already, at least the actress did really, really well. I might not like the character, but I do like the actress. She has done a very good job. I know it doesn't make sense, but I'll talk about it in another video. Of course, Charlie shoots April, while at the same time, Ram has returned and goes to grab her body as she falls. As much as I hated April, that scene was really well shot. So April and the Shadow King die. Ram is all angry. I have to point this out. I swear I thought that was going to be what happens in the next series, where Ram goes to the dark side. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? One of the main characters from series 1 turns into one of the antagonists of series 2. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Because the Shadow King is killed, the soldiers have stayed still. April mentions that it is the command of the king for them to appear. But since April and the Shadow King are dead, who is the new Shadow King? Charlie! Yeah! Perfect! This is just so perfect! Charlie's motive has come full circle. He's lost his family to them, and now he's the king of his of the people he's been wanting to kill. That's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. But now Charlie decides to use a cabinet. Seriously, guys, it's clearly the moment. Just call it the moment. So that he can destroy the Shadow King. But the Shadow King, of course, are like, oh no you don't. You touch that box, we're gonna kill you. And then we get this really cool action scene. Quill and Tanya are literally fighting against them. Quill has a gun and Tanya is just going, yeah, pow, 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 boom, boom, sweet. And just like what Quill did, I was fixed to the screen throughout the entire scene. There's this one shot of Quill and Tanya, and there's like a lot of soldiers walking towards them. As cool as it looked, I literally feared for their lives. I wasn't sure if they were ever going to make it out alive. And the climax? Oh my god! Big props to the visual effects team. Awesome! We get a series of cinematography and visual shots. Once the cabinet is open, we get this series of lights flying out like a tornado, and they're killing every single Shadow King. And by the looks of their hair flying, in the air, and their eyes are like it looks like really strong energy wind going on there. We also get shots for the lights flying across London, the world, and of course, Shadow Realm. Bang! Scream! Sparks flying everywhere. Awesome. What an awesome climax to a pretty good series. Charlie's beaten down once, he's used the cabinet, a soul flies out, and it's like it's going to take his life, except it doesn't, because Quill, I sense it coming, saves Charlie. They literally show like a couple of zoom-in shots of Quill looking at Charlie, and you can literally tell that she's starting to care about him at this moment. Who called it in their last review? Who called it? Who called it? And the soul instead seemingly flies straight at Ram. Well, at least we know where the shot of the hole in the hand shown in the opening credits represented. At this point, because we see April's mom's getting her stiff legs back, that we all think everyone who dies in the episode, heck, in the series general, would come back to life. But it doesn't. No cheap cop-out ending. That's good. I'm not saying I wanted them dead, especially Ram's father or Tanya's mum. I didn't want any of them to die, but I think if the makers want to go into a darker route for the next series, then this is probably a good choice. You remember scenes like Craig being converted in closing time, and then he suddenly comes back to life with love, or Clara coming back to life after an emotional ending in Face the Raven, and then Stephen Moffat just could not resist and bring her back in Hellbent for no particular reason. This episode kicks both those stories in the nuts and say, hey buddy, once dead, you stay dead. I can imagine Patrick Ness waving a picture of this episode to Stephen Moffat saying, see Moffat, this is how you do it. And I really am looking forward to see how this changes each character, creating interesting situations in the next series, if we get one. However, that is suddenly ruined when we get this last ending shot. And I hate it, because it happens with April. The Shadow King sits up, alive, awake. Everyone backs away. Ram's holding the gun at her. And once again, I saw it coming. First time watching it, I was like, it's April, isn't it? The Shadow King looks up and says, what's everyone looking at? And yep, it's April's voice speaking from the body of the Shadow King. Now that completely ruins the idea of when you're dead, and Ness has just decided to ruin it by having April, the most dull character in the entire series, be the only one to be resurrected. What? 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 But aside from that, I'm kind of interested in seeing how this plays out. I want to know what happened. Why did it happen? How's it going to play out for the gang? And especially April. So aside from the fact that April is still alive, I'm still excited for the next story, if we get one. Because like I said, the audience reception on BBC One, not as strong as it was on iPlayer. Here's what I think. If the BBC want to release it, they have to make a choice. Television or iPlayer. Don't try and do both. And now, let's talk about that ending scene. Ames has a meeting with the governors. We finally see the governors, which is apparently what's inside the staff office. Big shock. And it looks grand. As much as I know it's the same film location set from The Witch's Familiar, where the doctor was running away from invisible monsters, with that teleport escape, the place of the governors looks grand. The staircase, the tall empty church ceiling, it literally looks like a place of politicians. Space evil politicians. Abe stands in the lower grounds and is talking to the chairman. She has done everything she believed in for the arrival. But because she has failed, the governors turned around. At first I wasn't sure what was going on. But then I suddenly thought, oh, hang on. Is this what I think it is? They turn around, we get a close-up of her face, we hear the strange heavy sound, she turns, the camera turns, and ta-da! Hello! We're back! The Weeping Angels are back! Oh my god! And of course the Weeping Angel kills Ames. As awesome as it was to see the Angels appear in a spin-off series, I'm kind of disappointed because we won't be seeing any more of Miss Ames. She was a really exciting character to watch. Sure, she was working for the governors and the Weeping Angels, but she wasn't fully that much of a villain, as I later realized, but an anti-hero of some kind. And it would have been good to see where this character would have gone in Series 2, if she didn't die. We then get this cool close-up of the chairman. I know he's called the chair and he's played by Siri Neal, but like so many fans are asking, but I called it first, I cannot help but think and hope and pray that this is the shopkeeper from the Sarah Jane Adventures. I know it's the same actor, but seriously guys, this has got to be the shopkeeper. It would literally make sense. I mean, since he tried to convince Sarah Jane and her team to bring up the arrival, which of course doesn't happen because, you know, Sarah Jane and the gang are still working together. She's looking after Sky, and because that doesn't work, he tries to do it with Cole Hill. I mean, since Capaldi and Freeman, Colin Baker, and many other actors have played more than one character in the Doctor Who universe, can we please have this be the same character of the Sarah Jane Adventures? It would make so much sense. I know that we find out the identity of the shopkeeper in the untold story of the Battle of Bannerman Road, but since it wasn't made, there's still a possibility that we can find out the identity in class. I'm serious, if the makers of Class are watching this video, please make it happen. Please, 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 I'm going down, please. I beg you, please make it happen. Please make this guy the shopkeeper, please. I want you to. I'm begging you. It's been 10 years since the Sarah Jane Adventures came out. Please make it happen, please. Oh, God. Oh, my God, please. Please make this the same guy. I won't ask for many things. If you can make it happen, I swear I'll be good. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh. Oh. Oh, boy. Oh. Anyway, back to the review. We then get this zooming in shot of what appears to be an angel. Well, one poster of a giant angel standing over a small town. This also brings me back to the time of angels, when an image of an angel becomes itself an angel. As you can notice, its face is missing, so maybe once they find the face, maybe it becomes real, and the arrival happens. Maybe it's some kind of angel god. Seriously, from this shot, I am both excited and scared at the same time. Please make Series 2 good. Please. So yes, that was Class. And in conclusion, this episode was amazing. It's just as good as the first episode, and what Quill did. In my opinion, it's a good way to end the series, keeping all things endless and keeping the fans asking questions for things to come. It's a good episode. The music and the visual effects are amazingly done. Quill and Tanya are the best characters in the entire episode, and it does make me keen and hyped for the next series. So overall, I am happy to announce that I am giving this episode 10 out of 10. And so my friends, that wraps up Series 1 of Class. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. So overall, this spin-off was a good series. Well, I have to admit, it's not as great as the Sarah Jane Adventures or Torchwood, but for what it is, it's a good series. And I am happy to watch more what's to come. So overall, Series 1 gets an overall 8 out of 10. Be sure to leave a comment below, like and share this video, and if you have seen the episode, heck the entire series in general, what did you think about it? And if you'd like to see more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe. And if you enjoyed watching my class reviews and you want me to do more reviews of any of the series, don't be afraid to leave a comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Let's ride.